Hello guys. So today I want to talk to you guys on an issue on why people fail their driving tests. Now there's so many reasons why you can fail or why you will fail your driving test. But in this video I'm going to be talking about your attitude on the road. Or if you like, you can call it your attitude to the road. One is the competitive driver, which is competitive driving, and the other one is my made-up one, so which I call manipulative drivers. First, competitive driving, you know it already, and don't be surprised. I get learners who can be a little bit more competitive or too competitive on the road. Remember, examiners don't want to see a competitive driver. It's not good, it is not safe. And if you continue to do two of these things, you would find it difficult to pass, because when you're so competitive, you're not going to show how safe you can be. Now, competitive driving, all right, someone is coming, oh, they're in your lane, but oh yeah, but it's my lane. Yeah, it's your lane, and so what? Deal with it. What are you gonna do about it? And that's what you should be thinking. Don't always try to compete. And one thing I used to say is, if you wonder why competitive driving is so hard today, or you know what, let me just cut that way. Now just remind yourself, if you don't understand what competitive driving is, right? Now look at defensive driving in the other hand. If you want to be a defensive driver, sometimes people mix the two. Defensive driving in the sense that, remember and think of your Maserati. Like, this is my beautiful, yours might be a Range Rover, yours could be a Tesla. But imagine you just brought your new, brand new, beautiful Tesla from the dealership and you love the car, right? Now, if you see someone driving a 1997, or even if it's a 2010 Toyota Yaris, sorry, no finger, I'm just using what comes off my head, and it's so messed up, they've banked it here and there, and you see this person driving so close to you and almost knocking off your mirrors, are you genuinely going to try and compete with such person, whereby you know to them their car is probably not of much value to them? They don't really mind, which, to be honest, some learners will tell you, I just buy a small and cheap car, you know yourself, right? So that if I bang it somewhere, I just leave it. It doesn't really matter, right? You know yourself. So let me not go too far. But you learners know what I mean. Okay, let's even assume that to you, your Toyota Yaris is your main source of income. So literally, this is what takes you to work and back. This is what you use to drop your kids at school. This is what you use to get from A to B. Or maybe you might have someone who depends solely on your car. The point is, you will be trying to protect that car from being damaged or getting into any kind of situation on the road. This is what a defensive driver would do, and this is what I mean. So if you're gonna see such person and you're gonna compete with them in your beautiful Range Rover, now you might tell me that's fine, well, they're gonna be at Ford and they're gonna fix my car, but is that all? What about the time it's gonna take you? What about the hassle? Who has the time? Is it unnecessary? Are you going to rather get into that situation, or are you going to try and defend your car, or perhaps defend and avoid the situation from happening in the first place? That's what a defensive driver is. Defensive driver doesn't mean to drive defensively. No, it just literally means to try and avoid things, try and protect your car in a sense, right? My car is too precious to me, and I'm not gonna bother myself getting into a competitive driving with someone whose car is probably of less value to them. Think of it that way, okay? And that's number one, right? The other kind of person is a manipulative driver. And I'm gonna say this, and please, if you're one of that, get out of it as soon as possible. Don't be manipulative. Now, how can you do that? Okay, I get learners who might think, because I'm a learner, it means I can do anything on the road because I've got an L plate on the roof. No, it shouldn't be like that. If you think like that, you would always remain a learner. Remember that. If you think like a learner, you'd always remain a learner. You'd always be a learner. Now, remember, this is why you fail. Because I'm a learner, so I can stay at I can stay at 5 miles an hour until I'm ready to move off that situation. And if people want to stay behind me and make noise, let them stay there. They can see I'm learning. That's not what it's meant for. It shouldn't be like that. You're supposed to learn and be like every other driver. You want to be a driver, then you learn to be a driver. Don't learn and sit and remain a learner and go on about, I'm still a learner. They can see I'm a learner. Now the question is, are you going to take that attitude onto your test? Because if you're thinking that way, then I don't know how you're gonna make it through the test. Because remember, one thing you need to remember is that the examiners are not trying to pass a learner. Do you hear me well? Examiners are not trying to pass a learner. They're trying to pass a driver. If they think you should still be a learner, then you won't be getting that license. On the other hand, don't get me wrong, they're not expecting you to be perfect. They just want you to show that you're capable of being on the road and driving along with everyone else safely. It's very important and it's simple. Yes, you can hesitate a little bit, you can hold back, you can make little mistakes. That's why you've got 15 minor faults all to yourself. That's because they know you're not going to be perfect. But you need to show some sign of confidence. You need to show some sign of accountability. You need to show some sign of, I can see things ahead of me and I can plan ahead. I can I can break in good time and do it safely. You can't be timid on the road and expect to pass because you've got a learner's sign. Now you have to remember something. Be fair on the examiners as well, and remember that they're human as well. It could be you. They're only trying to keep the road safe. And I used to say one thing to my learners, and I say, you know what? What if I'm an examiner, right? And I know you're not safe yet to be on the road, and yet I pass you. If tomorrow comes and you happen to have a situation on the road where you knocked someone off, or you created a very dangerous situation and someone was injured, what if that person you injured was actually my relative or my friend or even my child? And I turned up there and I realized this was a person I passed yesterday, even though I knew she wasn't ready or he wasn't ready, yet I passed them because I was trying to be nice. But hey, today, who paid for it? It's my child. It's me. And you've got to remember that. They're only trying to make sure the road is safe. Okay? So think of it that way and stop thinking of the this, the no. You need to show that you're capable of driving safely on the road. Okay? Change that attitude. You see a pedestrian, and it's one of those things. Someone is walking into the road and you'd be like, why would they do that? They shouldn't even be there in the first place. But that's not the point. If it's all about what people do on the road, what other drivers do on the road, what pedestrians do on the road, if that's all the test was all about, everyone is going to be passing. Every single learner that goes for a test would pass. Perhaps they won't even be a driving test, because learners would just, instructors will be given the responsibilities to teach someone and decide if they, if they're eligible for the driving license. But that's not the point. Driving test is not just about the people on the road and other people but yourself. It's not just about them. The most important thing you need to remember is that the driving test is about how you react to what other people are doing. So someone has done something crazy. They're coming into your lane. What are you going to do about it? How soon, how early are you going to try and avoid the potential hazard from becoming something serious? Or how soon are you going to decide if it's safe to stop, or if it's safe to move away, or if it's just safe to just don't react. Because sometimes people do think that piss you off and you're gonna react, and then you end up into a competitive situation. How are you gonna handle it? And you need to remember these things. A pedestrian jumps into the road, or they can see you walking or driving through, and then they start to yet walk into the road, and you see them, but they shouldn't. I mean, it would shock you that learners or some learners do that, and you want to get a license. It's, yes, they're doing the wrong thing, but two wrongs don't make a right, though, does it? What are you going to do about it? They're doing the wrong thing, then do the right thing. So if you keep thinking that way, if your attitude to the road doesn't change, and you think because you're a learner you can drive some way and hold everyone back on the road, if you think because you're in a car and you're driving, so because of that you never will be a pedestrian, but you're forgetting that once you come off this car, you're also going to be a pedestrian as well. And I used to ask everyone, when people do that, and I'm like, have you never done that? If you can look me in the face and tell me you've never done that, then that is beautiful. And I can say, you know what, I only wished that everyone can be like you. But yes, even though there are people like you, there's only going to be few. So it would be nice. It would be nice if everyone do the right thing. But unfortunately, sometimes people only do what they have to do to get what they want. And once they get what they want, they start to change their ways. All right. So we see a lot of drivers on the road. They do the wrong things. And I always say to myself how I wish I'm, a secret service or something for DVLA or DVSA, because it's just so sad when you teach people to do the right thing and then they pass, and then, don't forget, I'm only trying to tell you what you need to do to pass and what you need to do to remain safe after you pass. Okay? And be safe on the road. So don't forget, your attitude to the road and your attitude on the road must change if that's the way you think. And this is the one reason why some people find it difficult to pass, because they just can't change that mindset, that attitude, that competitiveness on the road. All right. So please, and remember the things that people do that you'd drive so badly about, or you go on, and you have to remind yourself, even if you don't do it, you probably have someone who's close to you who does the same thing. And what goes around comes around. So don't sit on the road and take forever. Some learners come through as well. I want to go on the road. Take me to the main road. Like, sorry, darling. No, it's not time. And this is common. Some learners come. I get it. You're so excited to go onto the road. But remember, the main road is not for practicing. You come into the side road, you learn the basic things, you prepare yourself, you get to a point where you can be safe, and then you go onto the main road. I can't take a learner on the road if you're still driving at 5-10 miles an hour and still struggling to keep the car straight. That's not a good teacher. Or perhaps you can keep the steering wheel in the car straight, but you can't drive past 10 miles an hour. Thereby, you're holding everyone behind. And people are trying to get to work. School runs. People need to get to the school to drop the kids. Maybe a mom who needs to drop 3 kids at 3 different schools. And this is where people start to drive so dangerously around you because they need to get past you. And this is where examiner fails you for not making progress, for holding back traffic. In some situations, undue hesitation. So you have to remember, put yourself in the shoes. It could be fine for you, but until the day you're trying to go to an interview, and a learner driver is in front of you doing 10 miles an hour, I'm sure you'd ask the instructor, why is this person on the main road? So let's be realistic. And in my videos, a lot I mentioned being realistic on the road, and that's the point, you know. So you've got to be realistic. So be safe, all right? And just do what you have to do. Sometimes it's just practice. Practice makes perfect. You can't just do a lesson or two and you expect to be on the road and go for a test. So guys, that is the message for today. So change the attitude on the road, do your best, and I'm hoping that you have a brilliant and a wonderful instructor who would help you get through those situations. And remember, attitude. And this is funny because a lot of the times when I mention attitude to the road to my learners, they actually think, yeah, I'm talking about the attitude towards me. But it's not me. It's not me. It's your attitude on the road. It's not to do with me. It's how you react to people. It's not how you react when I tell you something. It's just what you do. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it. And I'm gonna cut it there, and I'm gonna, do another message for you guys. So I'm hoping, and there's so much so much videos online on how to do this and how to do that. But sometimes I think it's time to give you guys the mental messages, the mental lesson, the emotional guidance, because a lot of the times driving is not just about the physical part of it, the driving. And that's what some people need to realize. If your mental being is not ready, your physical is not going to do it. It won't happen. So anyways, I'll wrap it up here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So remember, keep safe and stay safe on the road, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.